evening. It's good to have you with us. To this story now, one of the officers attached to the Western Cape Community Safety and Police Oversight MEC, Reagen Allen's Personal Protection Unit, is currently recovering in hospital after allegedly attempting to take his own life. The incident took place during the funeral proceedings of another officer who was shot and killed on duty just over a week ago. The National Police spokesperson, Lt Col Robert Netshiunda, joins me now on the line with the latest details. Lieutenant Colonel, good evening and thank you for your time. What do we know about the details of this incident, an utterly shocking incident to have happened?
Thank you for having me. What we know for now is what is just explained, that the officer was on duty protecting the MEC that he was assigned to. And what we have for now is he just stood up and went out of the church, and then a gunshot was heard. Then there he was lying down with his own firearm.
And I mean, nothing was said before, or had there been any other indications, just also locating all of this within the context that it happened during the funeral of another police officer? What does it lead us to, in what direction does it lead us in terms of the thinking behind what led to this incident?
We are investigating the circumstances that might have led to his thinking. We understand that funerals sometimes are very emotional, that one might think otherwise, but we don't expect a person to just decide and take their own life on duty. And our teams that have been dispatched are working around the clock to try and find out what could have been the reason, if there were any altercations before or maybe leading to the funeral, because we would like to believe that our member did not show any signs of somebody who can take his own life. And when it has happened like that, we would like to tread carefully so that we don't make any assumptions that are negative.
Yeah. And maybe perhaps if you can talk a little bit then about the circumstances of the funeral itself. What are members who were there telling you about just the impact of the loss of that other police officer whose funeral it was that was being attended at the point at which this happened? I'm just trying to get into, South Africans to understand perhaps the state of mind and emotion of not just this officer, but also other officers, and how they were impacted by the death of this police officer.
Every funeral of a law enforcement officer is emotional, and for members it's draining, more especially when the member died on duty, because a lot of emotions run through your mind when you are there, because at times you imagine yourself that I wake up every day, I put on my uniform, I go and serve my nation, and at any moment I can be gunned down. For petty things like just your firearm or just a random criminal activity that happens in our country. Members who were at the funeral, those that we've managed to speak to, we are not at this stage at liberty to disclose what has been the mood, because we want to get to the bottom of these things internally, so that we ourselves understand what could have led to the incident. Maybe we could at better stage communicate something tangible.
Yeah. Away from the background and nuances then, Lieutenant Colonel, let's talk just three quick technicalities. What do we know about the condition of this police officer at the moment?
A few moments ago, I spoke to the officers on the ground. He was still at surgery, and his condition had not improved much. So we are still crossing our fingers and praying that he makes it.
Secondly, was the life of the MEC Reagen Allen or any of the attendees at the funeral in danger at any point during this time?
From what we have gathered, the life of the MEC was not in danger. The member went out of the hall quietly, and then he allegedly pointed the firearm to himself and did not endanger anybody.
All right. All right, let's leave it there for now. Thank you for your time. That's Lt Col Robert Netshiunda from the SAPS National Office there, talking to us about this incident that has happened.